Hi, Carolyn here, Trichologist at Absolique. Today we're going to share a little bit about birth control. So for the women, when I say birth control, they tend to think the pill and say, oh no, I'm not using birth control. And we're not just talking about the physical pill, we're talking about the modern versions of birth control as well. So you have the Implanon, the Mirena, and many other solutions. Now the most important thing to understand that it is used for birth control and it works very well, but it has to be working for you. So when we're talking about hair loss or hair thinning, we have to make sure that the birth control that you're using is working for you and you're not getting any other types of physical side effects. Now, the stopping and starting or constant changing of the different types of hormones in the birth control or the type of birth control is what can trigger hair loss. So what happens with birth control? We're not saying it's bad, we're saying that this is what can happen. So what you want to try and get is stability. So some people notice hair loss after starting it, so then they quickly stop it. So when you have changes in your body, and introducing this hormonal change is a change in the body, it can affect your hair cycle. So you have a growing phase, a resting phase, a falling phase. It goes in because a new hair is growing, pushes it out. Now when you start or stop birth control, 3 months later, it's always 3 months for what happens in the body to affect the actual hair bulb, your growing hairs can be triggered to fall. Now when that happens, it will happen for 3 months. So you've noticed your hair falling and you think, well, what happened? Oh my God, it was the birth control, and you stop taking the birth control. Well, then you've triggered it again to happen down the track. So normally people come to me 2 years later and they've stopped, started, changed, and they're a mess hormonally, mentally, and they've got hair anxiety and all of that. So what we're saying is you use it for the right reasons. Find that you don't get side effects. And if you do get other side effects, then you're going to work with your medical doctor to wean off to then change it. Okay? So the other confusion is this hair loss, hair physically falling out, is diffuse hair loss and it happens over your entire head. But it can expose pattern thinning, especially in a young girl, young women. So then you focus on the pattern thinning. Even though your hair's falling out, you start thinking it's pattern thinning, it's pattern thinning, it's pattern thinning, whereas in essence it's not, it's diffuse hair loss. So if you treat pattern thinning, you're never going to treat the diffuse hair loss. Now this diffuse hair loss, it should correct itself. It falls, it stops falling, and it should come back into the cycle. But if you keep starting changing, or you've got problems with your iron or other deficiencies at the time, or stress or life or HSC or university or whatever it may be, life, then the hair doesn't come back as it should. So you may not notice this 2 years later. So if you do notice hair loss and you do suspect that it was from birth control, get a proper diagnosis. So we offer in-clinic diagnosis sessions using a microscope to show you that's what it is. We put simple things in place to help you make sure it regrows. And if it doesn't, we know where to look so you don't end up with a problem long term. Okay, drop me an email with your story, questions, concerns, info@absolique.com.au.